Hey everyone, I'm Artie, and this is another episode of Weekly Gaming Traffic in which I will briefly show and tell you about the best, in my opinion, games that has been fully released in the second week of April 2017. What's in the box this week? 4 action games of different genres, 4 adventurous casual games, and 1 epic new old dessert. The power words for this episode are time and space. Let's get to the No, I cannot do that. First person, top down, side view, third person. Action has many points of view. I am always very skeptical when it comes to story-driven first-person shooters. At the same time, I always hope for every FPS to be good when it comes out, and I get disappointed most of the time. The signal from Tölva deserves to be given a shot. Such a pun. It's a story-driven, slow-paced, open-world exploration first-person shooter. We do have a choice. We can either run it through or spend more time exploring and shooting from time to time. In the first case, the game still offers more than 8 hours of gameplay. We can recruit, as in hack, robots to help us in battles, and we can buy, as in unlock, new weapons. All in all, it's something check-worthy, especially by the fans of first-person shooters. We often search different things in games and we forget what is the main purpose of gaming. It's fun. It's been always for fun to just take off and immerse ourselves in virtual worlds for pure joy. I know that first thing to think about when we look at Mr. Shifty is certain city in Florida and not so cold phone calls. Such a pun. I wouldn't go this way though, just because it's top down. In Mr. Shifty, we are super badass with one superpower, which is short distance teleportation. There are lots of bad guys wanting to shoot us, and Mr. Shifty don't like bullets and don't like to use guns at all. Besides, guns cannot clip through walls, so... The game is enjoyable, very enjoyable, but challenging. One shot, one kill, and that goes for Mr. Shifty too. Speaking of challenging. You know, showing multi-million-dollar AAA production is easy. In the end, it feels like only YouTubers play those games. All the inventions of the world massively produced now were taken from someone's garage or basement where he or she worked on an ugly, imperfected prototype. Why am I saying this while showing Gloom? Figure it out. Gloom, as it is a very difficult game, but we are equipped with all the necessities to learn, adapt, and beat procedural levels. When and if we die, we lose all the progress, but there is a wide variety of weapons and items to live, and even wider array of foes to use it on. Backgrounds, so darkly pretty, transit sometimes into paint-like looking doodles. All that is wrapped in an original story inspired by Mr. Lovecraft. Okay, let me brighten things up before we move to the casual games section. Yooka-Laylee is an open-world 3D platformer. What can I say? There are 5 huge worlds to explore, and they are huge. There are collectibles to gather, and countless of different platforms to jump on. Characters, both friends and foes, are memorable. We learn lots of different skills like fire breath, shooting with bubbles, we can swim, we can even fly. Well, sorta. Of course, we don't just run around for no reason. There is a story and lots of quests and tasks given to us, enemies to smack, and bosses to beat. To all that, we can play minigames and quiz and give yourself a break comparing it to 64 classic platformers. Yooka-Laylee is fresh, family-friendly, and definitely something to look at least to wait for sale. Random thought. Turn-based combat is also a form of time manipulation. I always welcome XCOM clones with open arms. Also, being called XCOM clone by me does not mean anything bad. Quite opposite. XCOM is one of the first on my top 10 lifetime games. But there is one problem called RNG. RNG stands for Random Number Generator, which means a lot in a game depends on randomly generated numbers, aka luck. What I'm saying is that RNG can create lots of frustration while playing. Okay, but what about shock tactics? Our team of space pioneers is dropped on an alien planet to explore and discover. Apparently, aliens are not the only problem. The planet is a source of new technology, which is expensive stuff. And we all should know who likes expensive things. Pirates, yes, but also Imperial Consortium. Except turn-based combat, we set up outposts to dig and gather all the riches the planet holds. The world map is procedurally generated and the story is quite interesting. A rose in the Twilight is rather vampiric experience. The game is a puzzle platformer where the key elements are color and time. Rose wakes up in a castle, and since she is Rose, someone put a curse on her which includes thorns. The girl finds Sleeping Giant, wakes him up, and they both decide to simply escape from the castle. Rose cannot only manipulate with time, as I mentioned before, she can also absorb blood. Interesting thing is she transfers absorbed blood into static objects, giving them the essence of time. What about the giant? He helps Rose with heavy stuff. The story is not told, but shown. To see it, we again need blood. Blood memories. And then we watch. Cosmic Star Heroine, as in female hero, is one of those games which adds to the genre and is pretty much self-explanatory from the first minutes of looking at the gameplay. The game is a RPG with turn-based combat. The graphics is artistically pixelated with addition of modern effects. The story leads us through 3 different planets. We will see aliens, fight with robots, and experience magic. We will visit ruined cities, discover forbidden technology, and perhaps catch some ghosts. A great mix for an exciting adventure. As I mentioned earlier, the combat is turn-based, but it's very fluent. There is no going to separate screen to fight. It happens right on the spot where we are. Characters are not each on their own during combat. They fight together, performing multi-characters combos. Did I mention that we got our own spaceship? Yes, we have, and we can recruit new agents and fly to meet with another adventure. In 90s, the best games and movies were the ones containing 2 ingredients, sex and violence. That was the trend. Today is not so simple, and the Sexy Brutale has nothing to do with it. I just digress. The title of the game is just the name of the casino mansion we move around in never-ending time loop trying to investigate and solve murders. The day repeats itself over and over and over again. When we go to sleep at midnight, we wake up at noon of the same day. Our memory is kept, but the inventory is not. We must peek, listen, sneak, observe, follow, and learn about the guests of the mansion. Every life saved grants us new ability and brings us closer and closer to the way out of this time trap. Fascinating story, artistic look, and spooky atmosphere. Good game. Good game. Heroic or grand in scale or character. Epic. Straight up, this game is epic. Gwen just finished the game on stream with me. It starts chaotic. There is this gangster and we are on a cemetery and we bring Rodin back from hell, and soon we find out that not everything with halo over its head is saint. Entire game is one crazy trip. The combat is intense as F word, and when you think it's over, it's not. Bayonetta can shoot, kick, punch, do some bullet time to dodge, and shoot again or slice with a sword. The gravity has no meaning, so we can find ourselves fighting hordes of affinities and other abominations upside down, side down up, or in the air, never falling. Even though the game is mostly third-person brawler, sometimes it switches to be a mini-platformer or motorbike chase or first-person shooter. Our enemies drop halos, which happen to be very expensive in other parts of the Outworld. For dropped halos, we can buy new guns and weapons and items, buffing, healing, and reviving. I know the game is not new, and I know it's a port, but this game is simply epic, and it was out on PC last week, and we very much recommend it for all the action adventure seekers. That's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you feel informed a bit. Maybe you can share this video somewhere or with someone. That would be nice. And see you in another weekly gaming traffic.
For there will be another one.
Or already is. Bye.